made with genuine Irish whiskey. You could use Scotch or bourbon, but those are not truly whiskey, and you're going to get a slightly different flavor in your candy. We're saying Irish whiskey cookies. We want to come through with that promise.
But don't tell my husband we're using his whiskey. Anyhow, we're going to start out with 1 cup of softened butter. I'm just going to whisk it around a little bit to get a little softer. To that, we are going to add 1 cup of sugar from our cute little baking cup. Cream that together. Just scrape that down a little bit. Make sure everything is combined.
And we're going to add 3 large eggs at room temperature. It's important to bring your eggs to room temperature and your butter. Everything will blend better. You'll get a better texture of your cookie, and you'll tend not to overmix them. Add the eggs one at a time. They will incorporate better. And this is an interesting recipe because it doesn't have any leavening, meaning no yeast, no baking soda, no baking powder, no whipped whites. So they're not going to rise very high, but boy, they're going to taste really good. The neighbors outside have let their dog out, so Buster's going to join us into the
We are back to Buster Baking. Baking with Buster.
And we're going to add 1/4 cup of this Irish whiskey. And no, I'm not going to take a swig on camera, maybe off camera.
A little early.
So that's a good bit of whiskey. There's no vanilla. So this is the flavoring of the cookies.
Smells good, huh, Buster?
It does. Oh, I might get inebriated just smelling this dough. It smells so good. Okay, now I'm going to add about half the flour, so about 1 cup. Just again, I don't want the flour explosion, but it also tends to incorporate better if you don't dump it all in at once.
What are you smelling? Does that smell good? Hi. Say hi to everybody out there, Buster. Merry Christmas.
And if you looked at the batter right now, it almost looks like it's curdling. That's because of the whiskey. But once the flour is all incorporated, it will look a little more normal. And then we're going to add 1/4 cup of candied citrus peel. You can buy it in the store, but it tends to have a lot of extra ingredients. So I did it myself last night. And it's really just the citrus peel, sugar, and water. That's it. And it doesn't take long, about 20 to 30 minutes. This is a beautiful looking batter. So we're going to stir in our 1/4 cup of candied citrus peel and 1/4 cup of chopped almonds. Some people put raisins in this as well. We did not choose to do that today. And then we're going to scoop this onto our silicone trays, either with a teaspoon or a scoop, and bake them in the oven at 375 degrees.
Okay, we are just going to taste these whiskey cookies because we've never have made them before. We want to make sure that the batter is correct. Okay, these are definitely an adult cookie. The whiskey is a little strong, but if you like whiskey, you're going to love them. But I think for today, we are just going to add a little bit more of the citrus peel and just to add a little bit more of a fruity flavor and maybe offset the whiskey a little bit. We'll see how they turn out.
And we're going to give you a shot of that, how the batter looks there. It is a very soft batter. These are drop cookies. Beautiful. Whoa, I think she had a few too many of those Irish whiskey cookies.
We're back.
So the next cookie we're going to tackle is called Makrout louz. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's an Algerian celebration cookie. We're going to start with 3 cups of ground almonds. It's not almond flour, it's coarser than that. We just did them in the blender. We're going to add a cup of sugar. And then we have 3 eggs that we scrambled. And we're going to add our zested lime to that and mix it in with the eggs to make sure it's thoroughly incorporated. So just go ahead and scrape that in there. It's the zest of 4 limes. I've also seen it online with lemon zest or orange, but my niece's friend is from Algeria and he says this is the traditional way, so that's what we're going with.
This is a homage, is that the right word?
Homage.
Homage to Hamza.
Hamza.
Thanks, Hamza and Mama Hamza.
And we hope we do justice to Mom.
Yes, please have a little patience with us. Okay, now.
And then we're just going to mix that in there. Now, traditionally, this is mixed by hand. I don't know how Vivian feels about that.
Well, we'll start with mixing it with what we have here and just see how it goes.
And I think the reason you mix them by hand and not in a mixer is you don't want to overmix this mixture. It's going to be a very delicate sort of cake candy combination.
Smells delicious, Hamza.
Can you smell that lime? I can smell it from here.
You might not want to have your mom watch it just in case we're not doing it right, but we're trying. Excited to taste it. Oh yeah, it's getting mixed good now.
Now that we got the dough mixed, we're going to dust our parchment paper with a little bit of cornstarch. We don't want it too thick, so I'm just going to push it off to the side and pull in more as I need it. And then we're going to divide our dough into 4 pieces, hopefully equal-ish. Ooh, that is very soft, okay. And we're going to try to roll this out until it's about the thickness of a hot dog. So this is probably why you need the cornstarch, because it's quite sticky, but I don't think we want to work too much cornstarch into it. You just got to roll it. It's very delicate because it's almond flour, which, as you know, has no gluten, so it's not going to roll and come together like a wheat flour product would. We've got our first 2 logs rolled out, and what you're going to do is cut them on the bias or on the diagonal so that you get like a diamond shape kind of. And then very carefully lift them onto the silicone line baking sheet. And these should be just about an inch, a little more than an inch wide. I just hit a piece of almond on that one, and if they come apart in the shape while you're doing this, once they're onto the tray, you can reshape them. They're looking beautiful. This is our second sheet, so the 3rd and 4th logs rolled out and cut, and it is quite soft, so when you transfer it to the cookie sheet, if they lose their shape, you can just take a couple of bench scrapers or even the side of 2 knives and just kind of pinch them back into place.
Hi, we're back. We are now going to finish off our Algerian sweet treats. First thing we're going to do is to dip them in a simple syrup, which my sister Katie has made, which consists of
sugar and water, equal amounts about. So similar to if you were going to do a simple syrup for bar drinks. And then you're just going to toss it in confectioner's sugar, which is should stick pretty well because we've got it coated with the syrup. Shake off the excess and put them on the tray. And that's all there is to making these. They're actually not very hard, other than me not being very artistic. I have a hard time getting those beautiful triangles. That's why you saw her in the video earlier, going in and fixing my triangles with the sides of the bench scrapers to make them prettier. Here's the final product, Makrout à louz. Hope I'm saying that right. Our Algerian treat. I think they're a little bigger than they're supposed to be, but I think they're going to be delicious.